Tegi Pannu, welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for choosing us here on BBC Asia Network to do your first ever interview. This is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've never done this before.
Why has it taken this long?
Firstly, I don't think so I was ready for it. Like, I wanted to release more music, and I wanted to talk through my music. I wanted people to know my music first, and then the man behind the music.
I'm going to start off with a really easy question.
Yeah.
Who is Tegi Pannu?
Okay, if I would say, like, I tried to keep it very low key, like in my life, like with everything, everything. I don't think so I was on social media before music. Like, I was like really like introvert, like kind of a person, like I would say that. But now I would say like a guy who's really passionate about music, and who wants to achieve like more in his life, and that's it.
The music is where you really display your versatility, your range, your passion. You can see it in your style of singing, in your style of writing as well. How proud do you feel of seeing the success that your songs have had so far?
I started in 2019 and 2020. I think a few of my songs didn't do well, and then I met many, and then I think my team like kind of showed me the right direction. And then I started understanding, like what sound I need to work on. And that's helped me a lot. And, with time, like with even more recordings, like a little bit learning the sound engineering and stuff. So it's like all made it happen. And I'm really blessed to work with the best team in the world.
The numbers don't lie, right? And I look at Schedule, which has got 122 million streams. I look at Untouchable, which has got 93 million streams. Forever, which released earlier this year, which has got 22 million streams. Yeah. The numbers really speak for themselves. How do you feel when you hear just those figures, those stats?
Yeah, it's really exciting. Like I would say, like, like most of my songs, like if you talk about Untouchable and Schedule, they were shot in the pandemic. Like I didn't know, it was like they were recorded in like that pandemic, that lockdown, like that period, and didn't hit me like for like a few months. And then I started realizing when I was like going out, like people recognizing, playing your sound, and that was exciting because that's what as a young kid I dreamt of. And it was all paid off like in some time. Yeah, so it was like a really exciting moment for me.
So there's a pre-lockdown Tegi and a post-lockdown Tegi.
It was a huge difference, I would say. I think after Untouchable, the things started easing up in Australia. Like Australia had the worst, I think, restrictions. And then after Untouchable, I started going out, and people like from the road, they're calling you, yo, Tegi, whatever, So that was really exciting. I was like, yo, this is actually happening. And,
how did you react to that?
Yeah, I was confused, I would say. I didn't expect that. I was like, okay, this is actually very exciting. People now want to take photos with you. They actually want to know you and stuff. And then, yeah, it was exciting.
How did your family react to that as well? Because pre-lockdown, they're going shopping with you. You're doing the grocery shopping and it's a normal day and everything's normal. Post-lockdown, people are coming in trying to grab hold of you. So how did they react to it?
Yeah, I think for the parents, like I've always been that kid who I started when I was in year 8 and year 9. So they were like, he's doing like good. But like recently I would say that when, everyone's calling them more, like they've got people at their house, at a house, every few weeks and stuff. Now they're realizing, like this is big. But before that, I think they're like, chill, okay, theek hai, gaane banaunda wa, theek hai, release karda, that's it.
When did you realize that you had kind of hit the big time? Because honestly speaking, here in the UK, you are so popular, that your music is so popular. That's why you're touring here. You're touring across different cities in London, in Leicester, in Birmingham, in Nottingham, in Leeds. A 5-city tour doesn't happen if you don't have thousands of fans. So clearly there are thousands of people consuming your music as well.
I think I'm still learning, still improving, still doesn't hit me sometimes, but I would say like Schedule, Untouchable, even Forever, songs like this, when, you get the appreciation from like around the world, that makes you very happy and very content, if you've achieved something, when you hit the charts and you hit those numbers, and that's when you feel like, you're doing something like very good.
Well, you've topped the official Asian music chart and the
Yeah.
official British Asian music chart here on BBC Asian Network
Yeah.
several times. Like, it does that though create some level of pressure now because you released EPs, you released singles. I'm guessing when you were releasing music like Schedule right at the start, there was no pressure of appeasing a certain fan base. But when you've now made hit records one after another, do you feel that kind of pressure?
Yeah, there's always going to be pressure because there's going to be new talent coming every few months, you know, like, but like that's about it. You have to improve. You have to understand the new sound. You have to keep doing the, you know, like the math and, you know, like, you know, work hard. That's it. I think I keep it very simple. You know, like I like to make music which I like. You know, if I like the music, I think the people are going to like it as well. So like if I don't like it personally, I don't think the people are going to connect. So I like what, you know, like what I like, my team likes, and that's it. Keep it very simple.
So how is your new release going to fit into that? Your new release is called?
Hold On.
Why is Hold On the right song for this particular moment?
There was a kind of a sound I was like working from a long time. I would say it's a very dance pop sound. And, you know, and then I was discussing with like Manny, GK, that this is the sound I want to work. You know, like I want people to be dancing, you know, on the dance floors. And then finally I went to Canada last month and it happened. He showed me a beat and I was like, you know, this is the right kind of a sound I want to work on. And then everything happened. We planned the music video, we planned the shoot.
So you enjoyed that part of it as well, right? Like the music video, the kind of style element of it as well. You have a very distinct style that I've seen as well. Like that is very much part of the image of who Tegi Pannu is.
I think like I don't enjoy music videos that much.
You don't?
I like making music, but like music videos sometimes like are in a pain. Yeah, for me.
Why? Because you get a bit shy?
Yeah, I don't know, but like it's too much. Like it's too much work on the day. Like, yeah.
Because
but, like making music is actually exciting, but like the music videos are like whatever.
Music videos are a great tester to see if you can act. And acting is quite often the next step in the natural process of a Punjabi artist. We've seen Diljit do it. We've seen Guru Randhawa now do it as well. We've seen Gippy, everybody's Ami, they've all done it. Is that something that you'd consider?
No, at this time I won't. I want to focus on music for I think a good couple of years, and then I might look into it. But like I don't think so. I'm prepared for it right now. I'll be working on music.
Tegi, I know there will be casting directors out there very unhappy with your answer to that question, but never say never.
Yeah, never say never. Yeah, that's what I said.
Who are your inspirations? What do you listen to? What inspires you?
I listen to Karan a lot, Karan Aujla, Diljit, AP, Shub, Sukha, Nawan. I think these are my top 6 artists, I would say.
You're getting to work with so many of them in different ways as well. You worked with Navan, you worked with Sukha. You also were on stage with Karan Aujla a couple of years ago. That must have been a pretty cool moment.
That was very exciting. And at that time, it was not planned. And it was just on the spot. He just told me that, Tegi, you're coming on stage. And I wasn't prepared at all. But that was, you know, something very special for me. You know, first time I was on stage, you know, and it was worth it. And everyone loved it.
Your journeys are very different, yours and Karan's. They're very different. But you're both singer-songwriters who moved from Punjab to different countries. He moved to Canada, you moved to Australia. Do you feel like that's something that maybe the two of you share in common, or that's a bond that maybe brings you closer?
Yeah, I think that could be it. Like we discussed like a lot of things, you know, like our journeys and stuff. I think he's had a very tough path as well, losing the parents as well. Like, you know, but you know, like it's similar, but like it's kind of different as well. He had he had to face a lot of hardships, I would say.
Yeah, but that immigrant experience of moving to another country is shared. You know, like the experience of having to start afresh. I know he had a lot of hardships that he dealt with, but you also moved to another country where you didn't know the language, you didn't speak English before you moved to Australia, or as well as you speak now, for sure.
Yeah.
You were quite young when you moved to Australia as well?
Yeah, I think I was 18, 19.
That's at the cusp of adulthood, and you're almost having to restart your entire understanding of life when you move to a country like Australia, right? So what was that like?
I think every artist, like even if you talk about like all the artists who are doing well, everyone moved from India. Like everyone moves like as an immigrant, you know, you're on a student visa, then you have to study, you have to work, and then you've got your parents to look after. So and then there's music. You don't want to, like lose that passion. You want to do something which you love, and then it's a hard balance, but it teaches you a lot, I would say.
So does music
yeah.
become your outlet in that process? Does that become the kind of the hobby or the passion that helps you stay connected?
I think for me, it became a hobby after some time, like because I was more concerned about my, visa conditions at that time. I was like, but my brother's 10 years apart from me. And he told me from day one, like we're focusing on this. This is really important, getting the permanent residency and everything. You have to work hard and that's it. Leave everything behind. And I was like, okay, like I don't think so I can do music anymore because this is the path my brother wants me to follow. But then it became a hobby, but like, you can't let go of some things, like they are in your heart, and music was always in me. I was like, I actually want to do something with music in this like industry. And I think, if you follow something with a true heart, like God sees it.
That's a hardship in itself that you faced. The fact that you had to work hard and graft hard because you had a family and you were moving to a different country. And actually quite often in South Asian communities, Indian, Pakistani, Bengali communities, you are made to feel guilty for having a hobby or a passion that doesn't put bread on the table, that doesn't provide an earning. And music is one of those risky professions where you never know when it's actually going to become financially viable. So did you feel guilty about pursuing music?
But I think, as you said, like, like it's very unstable. Like, like if it was a stable industry, your parents would be like, like do it. From the age of 6, like 7, like they push their kids, but they want their kids to have a stable job. They don't want their kids to struggle. That's why the parents don't support you initially. But when they start seeing the results, they're actually proud. But deep down, they want to do it. But like, like it's a very unstable, risky, industry. Not everyone makes it. It's like, it's rare.
There'll be a lot of people listening who maybe are also immigrants themselves who have moved to the UK maybe, and they have a passion for music. I see so many people on TikTok, on Instagram who have amazing voices, but they're working in a shop somewhere or they're having to do a job that they don't particularly enjoy. And music, as like you, it becomes a hobby, but for them it has to just fade into the background. They can't do anything with it. How do you free yourself from the guilt of pursuing something that you know can become your career?
At the end of the day, I wanted to do something with music, like I did my, like what he told me, I did that first. I worked on my residency. I did whatever my brother said. But then I was like, like now I want to do something for myself. That's it. And that's how it all happened.
You got to that Apna Time Aayega stage.
Yeah, that stage, And for the like kids as well, like, like keep grinding on the side as well. Like don't leave, like, I think you should like have some passion in your life. Like the kids like today, like I think I see like the young kids are very passionate. At the age of 22, 21, 22, they know what they're going to do when they're going to be 25. I think, like before it was like, like it's all messed up. Like with the social media, they know that, if they choose this path, it's going to lead them to a different direction. So I think the kids today are smart.
I think that there was always a pop star inside you waiting to erupt. And I've seen it firsthand because I saw you in the Netherlands for Mirchi Fest a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I saw you just in your element when you were on stage, working the crowd, the way the crowd were reacting to you. And you had the biggest smile on your face throughout that whole day.
Yeah.
Does it feel like all of this that's happening, the reaction that you get from the thousands of people that are going to come and see you on this UK tour as well, does it feel like you have been waiting your whole life for this?
Yeah, I'm like, like as I told you, as a young kid, my dad had this like thing framed on the wall. Those who dream the most do the most. And like, I used to dream about this, like, one day I'm going to be on the stage. There's going to be 1,000 people watching me, like everyone cheering for me. And I dreamt like every day for that. And it's when, and dreams, coming to reality, I would say, and now I'm performing at the Indigo O2, the Forum, Birmingham, like one of the biggest, like venues, you could say. And it's really exciting. And it's sometimes very overwhelming to see like a lot of like crowd fans and stuff.
The other thing that you have in common with Karan, who we've mentioned already, is the girls go crazy for you. The girls go absolutely crazy for you. How do you process going from being a normal guy, who I'm sure got plenty of female attention before as well, to now being this pop star who's getting thousands? I'm guessing your DMs are flooded. I've seen the comments under your photos, Tegi. How do you process all of this?
Yeah, it's really exciting, I would say. But like, I don't know. yeah. Everyone likes attention, I would say. Everyone, like, as a normal guy, when you don't get that attention and then all of a sudden you turn into a pop star, as you said, and, you get that attention, like, you like that. But, like, it shouldn't get to your head, I would say. Yeah.
Who's on the wish list? Who's on the bucket list of people you want to collaborate with?
I want to work. I would say Karan, for now. Diljit Paji.
They are both role models. They are both inspirations for millions of people around the world. But I want to know from your perspective as a fellow artist, what sets them apart?
I think Diljit's consistency, Paji's, I would say, for the last 20 years, he's been doing like what he loves and like, didn't give up. And every time he comes up with something, exciting, amazing, his stage performance, I haven't seen someone, that good on stage, like such a good performer. And with Karan, I would say, like his compositions and lyrics, I would say no one can match his compositions and lyrics at this, like, at this time. That's why, like, I appreciate them both. Yeah.
So I know that when we come to your tour, which is happening across the UK, I know we're going to get to hear you singing your songs. But what I'd love right now on BBC Asia Network is for you to sing one of their songs.
Chunni meri rang de lalariya, chunni meri rang de lalariya, mere yaar di gaddi de naal di. Haan, chunni meri rang de lalariya, mere yaar di gaddi de naal di.
What genres is it that you're still hoping to showcase? Because I feel like you've done a really good range. You've done romantic songs, you've done harder songs as well. They've all got a great beat to them. But what genres are you hoping somebody will come and explore with you?
I think I want to make some country music after this.
Really?
I want to make some country music.
Where does
I want to make some underground hip hop tracks. Yeah.
Where does the country influence come from? Like, where?
I don't know, maybe Australia, like all the cowboys and stuff.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, a lot of people listen to country music in Australia, I would say.
Fans of Punjabi music are very unforgiving when Punjabi artists experiment.
Yeah.
When they do a genre that's outside of the norms of what is considered cool, and they want to just express themselves, audiences don't normally take to it very well. Like recently, AP in his album did a rock track, like a hard, heavy rock track, which was really cool to see him experimenting with. But his audiences, some of them were like, oh, what is this? Why is he doing this? So do you have to be cautious of what you put out because of the way, what audiences expect from you almost?
I would say, like, if you don't experiment, you won't know, like, like what people think of you. It's like, he experimented, he made that track, like, and a lot of people appreciated it. So, as long as you don't take the risks in your life, that it's not worth it. Like, I would say, like, I would like keep taking risks. Like, if I talk about myself, and if it sounds good, if the music is good, I think the people are gonna connect.
This is, I think, the most anybody has got to know you on record so far. And I think you've done tremendously well. And I know you were nervous before the interview, but you have
nervous,
absolutely no reason to be. And I think to finish off, to get to know you properly, we should play the Forever game. Forever, your song with Prem Lata and Mani Sandhu, is a huge success. What's the one food that you could eat forever?
Sag.
What's the one movie you could watch forever?
Namaste London.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I think I'm a big like Bollywood fan. I've been a fan like 90s and like the early 2000s. So Namaste London, like
it's a great movie.
Huh?
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Akshay Kumar, Katrina,
and he comes to London.
Yeah.
You see yourself as Akshay Kumar moving to another country. That's what it is. I clocked it. What's the one song you could listen to forever?
What song? I would say maybe Softly for now. Yeah.
What's the one city you could live in forever?
Sydney.
Really?
Yeah, always.
Because I've been meaning to ask you, most of your collaborators are either in the UK or in North America, and that time zone difference is a mess. So how do you collaborate with Mani, for example, who's in the UK, when you're going to sleep, he's waking up, and when you're waking up, he's going to sleep?
Yeah, I usually, record everything like by myself or like in the studio, send him the raw vocals, and then he works when he's free. So it's a back and forth thing, but it's exciting. We got used to it. Like,
But
we
you,
made the biggest hits like that. So it worked for us.
but
Yeah.
you wouldn't leave Sydney.
I wouldn't leave Australia. Like, yeah.
What's
I
wrong
think
with London?
No. But that's home for me, I would say. That's
And
home for me.
finally, who's the one person you could talk to forever?
Recently I would say Manny.
No, not recently, just in life. Who's the one person you could talk to forever?
Talk to forever. It's hard to think of. Maybe my mom. Yeah.
That's the best answer. And that's the best note to end this interview on as well. Tegi, it would be great if you could sing us a couple of lines of Forever, because I know this will be, since your last UK tour, which you did last year, since then, I think Forever will be the song that lots of people want to hear live as well this time round.
Okay. ਹਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਜਦ ਤੂੰ ਆਵੇਂ ਲੱਗੇ ਜਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਦਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਤਸਵੀਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਇੱਕ ਜੜਾਲੀ ਦਿਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਰਾਹ ਬਿਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਲੱਗੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਸਦਾ ਖੁੱਲੇ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ੇ ਵੇ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਹਾਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਸਦਾ ਖੁੱਲੇ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ੇ ਵੇ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਲਈ
Tegi Pannu, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.